The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody has had, at least this week, some decent trading. If someone can just put up the hand that I know that the mic is actually working, fantastic. Thanks, Vic. And Jimmy. Okay, so we know we're on the air. Must apologize again. I really don't know what happened. The first time we had issues with my mic, actually broke. Literally, I pushed my chair back and snapped. And unfortunately, the second time round, I can at least confidently and comfortably say it was not us. It was actually our provider. I don't know what happened, but they couldn't explain it, but they did confirm it was on their end. Let's hope nothing transpires today. Today is going to be pretty much the last webinar for the year. So what I would ask everybody to do, do they want me to start, a week before the 31st or before the end of January, or, gives an estimated date, so we'll try to plan it around there. So just give us that feedback, would be greatly appreciated at basically webinars@phoenixai.com.au. I hope you all had a chance to just go through this disclaimer of ours. Remember, this is not personal advice. This is just general investment advice. I've got a bit of a list. It's a continuation from the last webinar. We went in probably about a half an hour before we lost all communication. So there's a few of them, so this might take a little bit longer today. I'll do it as quick as I can. Now, start off as usual, just keeping in mind we comment on the disclaimer. I hope everybody had a chance and to go through it. I'll just go through now and switch over to my other application. Just one sec. Okay, we're switching over to Phoenix. And again, as usual, let's have a look at the monthly. We're looking at the Dow Jones first of all. And as we can see, look, it's one heck of a rising wedge again here. Okay, it really is. What we've seen is a high at a higher point. We're seeing this high. If it does to come off, that will actually make a higher low now. We can't say it's a higher low till it really does come below its previous low here. Then we know it's a lower low, and this will make a lower low, hence a lower high. And then we can confidently say the real trend is started. So what we're really looking for, opportunities to go to the short side. Again, I keep saying is we've been saying for nearly 8, 9 months, 12 months nearly, we should have got out up here somewhere. Okay, so from a long-term point of view, you should not be on the long side, as simple as that. All we're looking for in opportunities, yeah, we might trade a little bit to the up now and again, but it's only short-term trading. We really are looking more to the downside because according to this pattern here, it is a rising wedge and it really is a reversal, no different to what this one was. This, as we can see, it went down, made a bearish flag here, retested, so to speak, also the bottom of this, and down she went. Okay, now what's this going to be? I don't know yet. Is it going to be another flag or pen? I don't know, but it can certainly, it fits the criteria still. Okay, so maybe with the interest rate for the first up interest rate 0.25% in the US, maybe that's all they need. Time will tell. So saying that, I'm really still looking to the short side. Let's look at the weekly. What we saw in the weekly, this is what we were looking at on the monthly, all this area. We can see it was a small channel. Sorry about that. It was a small channel, broke below. Obviously, what happens is when it breaks below, that's just set for if you want to trade to the downside. And what we got is a dotted line here, mean we should expect a bit of a support here. Now, is it going to make a bearish flag and get another downside? Let's just watch it and see from there, because then it'll be a nice flagpole and we got lower prices to come. The weekly really does show us the rising wedge here and broke, but it's gone sideways. A very long period of time, as we can see. This is more than a year long here from memory. What was it exactly? Just measure from here to where we are currently. We're looking at 52 weeks right across all this. So for a whole year, we really got this huge sideward motion pattern. And if it does break, and this could be also a double top, anything with the 5% top. So if this is within 5%, I haven't measured it yet, that means it will be considered as a double top, and that will be its support. Then you can target down from that. So again, I keep saying we really got to be looking to the downside, not the upside. Going to the daily. Again, looking at the, originally I put it as a channel. I'll just redo it on this one actually. What we really did is this before. That's what we were looking at on the weekly. You can see that was a channel. And what we also have had here is an accelerator trend, okay? That was that there. And what we should be looking at is a target when you get over channel or accelerate trend, click to the breakout point. That's telling us that's really its target. Keeping in mind, this line is major support. So we extend this line outwards. Probably it's about like that. Okay, there's major support in this area. So myself, if you ask me would I go short right now, the answer is probably absolutely not. I'd want to see something, another pattern breaking down, then I would be going short. That marries pretty much what the weekly was actually showing anyway. So nothing much right at this point. Looking at the Dow Jones, it'll be interesting to see on the monthly, like I said, what this pattern is going to be here. It'll be quite interesting to see. Well, do we really expect much difference in the S&P 500? I mean, I really don't expect much at all other than that. Again, looking at the monthly on the S&P 500, you can see, look, this is pretty much it'll be a double top here. And sure enough, you know, consolidation, breaks below, lower prices to come, huge rising wedge. Look, this will be a rising wedge, a double top, all in one. So again, I can't see upside. I've been saying this for the past nearly 12 months. I can't see much upside other than the main tops that we've already had. Going to the weekly, as we can see, there's your rising wedge consolidation. There's your high. Again, it's actually made a low here, and now it's made a lower low here, but it's very tight. The real low is here. That's only for the short range looking at this leg. So this could be a major double top here, and we can target down. For those that forgotten how to target out of double tops, so basically, if this is the top and anything, as we said, within 5% is a top, you get your price targeting tool. You click there, you click to the bottom, you go roughly where this would go and break down. Don't go past this point. You've got to only stay there or back. So if I line this up straight down to there, and basically if the price keeps coming down and breaks below here, we would expect it around this level out of this pattern here. Okay, out of this rising wedge, it already gave us the target and we already hit it. If it goes down to there, then we can take further targets, but we can't, out of the rising wedge, but we can't take any further targets till it actually breaks through here. I will remove this because it is not anywhere near down here yet. Okay, but that's how you do it. On the daily, we can see again, from here, we can see this low is higher than that. This obviously high is higher than that. So that was its reversal. As it's gone past this point, it's telling you that's its up price. Again, consolidation, and we can extend this. Okay. It does have an accelerated trend because it did make a lower low. And so this is what it's really doing. Okay. If we clone this, so you would expect this low to actually keep going down. But if you're not in already for whatever reason, again, you're chasing, if you wanted to go short here, you're chasing it at this point. So I, again, wouldn't be, jumping in at this one here. Just to also show something, as a consolidation more than anything else. Look, back here, I just remembered, if you put this right across here, and you can quantify, because this tested, respected this line at this point, not on its high, on its bodies, and kicked off from there. Okay, so basically what that does is you can go from, ideally you should go to the bodies on this, but anyway, we'll take it here and there, and your breakout point, that's its target, you see. So that gave us, out of this pattern, its target. The conservative target should have been from the body to there, because it's quite a large range, and that's its target there, more like a bit lower. But it still hit its target, which is pretty good. That's almost like a double top, okay? So, but this is what we're saying. So what we're looking at here is we're still looking at consolidation, and this hasn't given us anything else. There's nothing there to decisively say this is what we're going to do. It really is a watch and see, and that's how it really has been. The Dow, if you look in the Dow or the S&P 500 as a guide to where we're going, it really is pretty piss poor. Ideally, when major trends are broken, like on the weeklies or on the monthlies, you know, the major points here, make decision, there you can say, yep, that's where the market's going. Right now, there really isn't anything there. So best thing to do is leave it alone. Safest thing, leave it alone. Now, sometimes it just pays to stay out. See things more decisively. Actually, let me just see one more thing here. I'm not quite sure yet. Let's see how this pans out. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? It's almost like a challenge there also at the moment. It'll be interesting to see when this eventually starts to come down here, if it's going to respect this line. In fact, I should put it a touch lower. I'm cutting a body there. Oh, I wasn't supposed to raise that. I'm supposed to just bring it lower, like that. So that touches that, and it's on the body there. And obviously, these are the withdrawal symptoms. So I'll leave that for now. So there's nothing more we can really do except wait and see. Let's see if that respects it and bounces back off that. Gold. Again, it's really being extremely tight. Look, it's really respecting this line all the way down. And again, I'm still holding my targets there because I believe it really should go there. If it's not going to break here, I find it difficult to believe. I think it should have a downer. Either it's going to get very decisively up or it's down. I mean, we look at this and there's a flag there, bearish flag, telling us lower targets to come. That's what the monthly gives us. We go to the weekly. Now, where are we here? The weekly. No. It really does belong there, unfortunately. The reason I say that, I'm right here, actually on the tail, just a little bit lower. Pretty much almost touching there. It's respecting the bodies, and that's just cutting, which makes it very unclean, unfortunately, here. If this turns out to be some attempted version of a flag or a pennant here, it will be that messy, I wouldn't rely on it. You can see it's pretty messy. Again, I'd want to see what it's going to do further now, because this is such a messy, it's actually cutting this particular point here. If we play around with the line and we put it here, you can see where that is, still quite not touching there. I would only attempt to put it there if this green bar goes past these levels here. If they can go past there, then I'd say there was some sort of respect there, because the best we can do is raise it a bit higher there. That brings it closer. That way, if we leave it at this point, because there's nothing decisive here, I've got 1, 2 touches, I'm just cutting here. Okay, now it's respecting, but if it actually goes higher, then we can say, yes, this line belongs here. It really still doesn't quite belong there, okay? Because what you might find, it might come back down back on this line and just messy things up even more. So that still belongs there. That way it's properly there, touching there, and it really is cutting. So what we're saying, there's 3 good touches. The other way, we got 2 touches, and then it's cutting this point here. So you still got to leave this line at this point. Indecision on the weekly, on the daily. If you remember last time we were looking at this, we would put a target up here and we put a target down here. Which way is it going to break? We said if it breaks to the upside, that's its target. If it breaks down to the downside, that's its target. Well, as you can see, it broke to the downside, and that was its target, met its target. And if I was there taking that trade, I would have closed it off and says, thank you very much. And I would have then closed this, get rid of these. Because that hit its targets here, first there. And that's it. So respected this target by breaking on the downside. And what we're looking at is consolidation. What we can add to this is line here and a line there. So if it consolidates through here and breaks to the upside, we can do 2 targets again. If it breaks to the upside, we click there, and we roughly there, and that's its target up to retest this line. If it breaks to the downside, and auto side, and that's its target down. So if you're looking for a trade, you've got to trade the break. So which way is it going to go? No idea. Obviously, if it actually trades to the upside, then that line can be changed as I showed on the weekly. The ASX 200, ASX 2, oh, what am I doing? ASX 200, XJO, ASX 200. Monthly first, we can say it's still within this formation. It came below, tested this line, as we can see, that was its weakness. We said that if it breaks this, we've got to make sure it breaks below this point. And sure enough, back it went. So it's still considered a bearish flag, but we have to wait and see what it's going to do. We put this line, as we said, roughly, it's got to break below there or close below here to say the trend is started on the downside. It has not as yet. Maybe we're looking for this Christmas rally, eh? Again, we put this dotted line all the way across. It's back above it. But remember, sometimes you wonder why. Hey, wait a minute. You say, well, hold it. Why didn't it support it? Such a strong line. Why is it up here a little bit messy? Remember, the reason it's messy here, it's because it's perfectly legit here. All right, so that's pretty much the messiness is in that little bit there. All right, so this has gone messy because of that. So it's got to be clean from both. So it respected all that. And this line really is still valid. However, it is messy at this point, so we need to wait and see. And what we've got to look at, we have from this point an acceleration to the down. And if it goes back above it, then we can remove it. But right now, what is this telling us really? It's telling us we need confirmation of things. So in other words, the monthly is very important because it's respected all. So it's only going to be safe if it actually closes below that. So if we put a line like so, what we're really saying is it's got to close below here if you want anything to happen. Now, I put that line there. However, what we've got as a pattern, if I was doing it, let me just do this again. I want to erase this for the moment. I've got a line like that, right? What we can do is go from there. What have I got now? just as a line. You've got, first of all, symmetrical, like so, but also, which is, I would go with this one, if you remove the symmetrical altogether, what have you got? A descending triangle. Okay, so this is obviously, let's extend it a bit, like so. Okay, so what we've got is a descending triangle, and see which way it's going to break. If it breaks on the downside, fantastic. If it breaks to the upside, you've got a secondary brick wall just there. All right? This thing's made up its mind, it's going to go up and down here like a yay, doesn't particularly care. So it's not respecting this line at this point in time. But it's still valid, but it's not respecting it. This is what you're looking at now for an exit out of here. Go into the daily. All right, that's where we're looking at on the daily. Again, let's remove, this one's not valid anymore. That's what we're looking at, roughly that. It's got to go a bit below that, obviously, but ideally that's what we're looking at, is a descending triangle. There's nothing else you can add to it at this point in time. Okay, with the shares now, ANZ. Well, what is it telling us? Still in a friggin' mess. That bearish flag is still valid, by the way. Okay, so the monthly hasn't changed. There's its target, but there's the major brick wall. All this is still valid on the monthly. Nothing changes. On a weekly, different story. Pretty messy, isn't it? So let's have a look. What can we do here? First of all, that's not valid anymore. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that for the moment. It hit its target originally. We can get rid of all that. Let's get rid of all that. Get rid of that. Let's start it afresh, eh? That was its neckline here, right? Head and shoulder, neckline, hit its target, fine. Like so. Let's clone. No, we cannot clone. So this is making a broadening formation. So we can go from here to here. So what we can say confidently, this is broadening out, isn't it? Okay. So as this is going sideways, potentially we're expecting a fall, maybe quite a sharp one at that. So nice to watch this. If to me, this looks like a bearish flag down here, I might consider some options, but usually what we find is the buggers, this tends to hold through till the new year. So we should be watching that very carefully, I think, now. So on the weekly, it's a broadening formation now. That's it. We can say also, if you want, an accelerator close to a channel, possibly around there. Okay. Let's go to a daily. What else is there? A lot of lines I need to clean up here. We can put it there. We can, because it opened up lower but closed above it on the same one, which is really an engulfing candle. I've stopped it right on the close of this red one. Okay, so this is the line from the top. So you can see that everything's broadening out, and we did this on the weekly. We put a dotted line, a line across there. So need to wait and see what will actually happen here. This is valid here. We need to put it across in case it breaks on the upside. This should be its brick wall. And if we extend this one to there, just in case it goes a bit higher, but this is really telling us lower prices to come. This is what it's representing. Like I said, during the Christmas period, they tend to do almost what they like. So basically, I'll just get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. These are not needed. Well, that's the gaps. I'll leave them there for the moment to remind me of them. And there's a gap here also. I was surprised. I thought he might have come in and closed this gap, but it still hasn't. So again, this is not something I'd go long on. I'm more on the downer. If it does eventually break on the upside, I think the best it will do is about closing this gap here in the short to medium term if it manages to break through. CBA, you would expect almost the same on all of them, wouldn't you? Almost is the word. We can see it's still within this formation, which again looks like a bearish flag. So nothing more one can add to that. Actually, I'll just get rid of this for the moment. Nah, not really enough. Nothing more. I'll just leave it at that for just for the moment. Weekly might give us, hopefully. Get rid of that. So shoulder, head, shoulder, necklines there, going for the retest. Hopefully it'll go a bit higher. You really can't add anything else to that. At least I don't think so. Let me have a look, clone, just in case. No. No. See, that again is more of a broadening formation. Like that. Now it has broken above it, so it'll be interesting to see if this is a retest of the neckline. Because it has not done it at all here. It just went straight through and then back up. And this is the first time it's actually come back to test the line. So let's watch it. Erasing all this, just to clean it all up. So 1, 2, 3 touches, quite valid. Not sure there actually at the moment on this one. Actually, let's have a look. I'll delete these. Oh yeah. Basically touch, touch, touch. Didn't see that before. It's cut the line. So that, yes, that's quite valid there. Let's clone there. It's in that channel. This is the neckline, so still pretty good. I'd say it's pretty close to maybe topping out around here, and let's see what happens from there. It's closed this gap. It's still got these gaps that are currently open. And that's CBA, Macquarie Bank. What can we say? Still inside the channel. Can't add more information. If it breaks the channel, it's decisive. Hit a previous double top. Can't really say more than that. Again, that's its previous top. It's just came all the way up there for many months now. On the weekly, we can say it's a double top. It's right on the trend line, and we really can't say anymore. If it breaks, by the way, if it breaks the trend line, first of all, we can target from here to there to where it breaks from, let's say roughly there, and that's its target down. Although I'd be watching it very carefully here, because then this is a genuine huge double top. If it breaks from here, obviously you've got short positions. Maybe you want to close some, maybe you leave them all open, because if it does break from there, then you'll be going from there to there again, but your exit is from here. And then you've got that target. So we can't really leave these here unless a break occurs. But potentially, that's what the trade is worth. Okay, that's what it's worth. So watch things very carefully. So, but we could have some really good trades coming up if you like shorting. Nothing on the long side. Again, that's where the tops are. What we're looking at here. Well, interestingly, to me that looks like a bearish flag. That's his target there. So it's actually a bearish flag, so a short should have been taken. Next one is National Australia Bank. Oh, sorry, I missed, someone's left a message there. ANZ Weekly. Oh, sorry about that, Pete. I just saw it now. Trend line back to 5th of May, back to 5th May, 14 on bottom. Let me finish this, Pete, and I'll come back to it, mate. And hello, Kevin. Okay. National Australia Bank. What do we got? It really is. The target was reached. What a mess. Let me remove the target price from this, it'll be better. You know, for those that don't know potentially how much is in the trade if we're right here, this is a rising wedge. You've got 1, 2, 3 on the top. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the break. So it's a rising wedge, okay? Just to let you know how you target from a rising wedge, what potential downside there is. I don't want to scare anybody, but if this goes to a full-blown retest and goes down, you go to here, then you go to the breakout, and that's its target. So we're talking serious moves if this does a retest and then breaks back down. So it's broken, so I'll leave it there. But this line now at the bottom, it really doesn't belong there because it's already gone below it. The only thing with this is it doesn't give you much, and it'd be nice if it was a bearish flag here and you can, start targeting more to the downside. So if this turns out to be, puts another bar here next month in January, and in February it breaks down, it'd be fantastic. You've got a bearish flag to compound everything. So watch again very carefully here because it could be a bearish flag coming up. On the weekly, again, this is a head and shoulder. It never reached the target price from its head. All right, so it really is quite messy. Now, that's its neckline there, and retested and respected it, so it could be still on the way. This line does not belong here anymore, okay? That doesn't either. That's its long trend line. As you can see, it didn't really respect it very well. If we go back to the monthly just to confirm something, you can see that's the real main trend line there anyway. Okay, that's from a shorter range. So it's respecting the monthly, not the weekly. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Okay. Right now, where it's sitting, I really can't comment because I'm trying to see if it actually makes a lower than this, then it's got an accelerated downtrend like this. But it hasn't done that. That's why I can't really add it at this point like that. So keep that in mind. If it doesn't, you've got an accelerated downtrend. If we clone this, we can say, well, there you go. So basically, we are in this channel here now, okay? So there's a channel here, and what we're seeing is lower lows. So you suspect once it gets to this target, basically it's telling us it's met from this neckline, that's your target. And it's sort of almost by doing that, it doesn't validate this line, but what it does, you can understand what's happening is bouncing back in its channel, okay? So again, you can't add much more than this other than the target has not been met yet, but very messy. We've originally put in case it broke on the upside, and as we found out, it failed. So it wasn't a bullish flag at all because it failed, okay? If we clone this line again, that's what we're really looking. That's what we did on the weekly, by the way. So what we're seeing here, because this is now a daily, what we can do is probably it's just around like that and consolidating around here. And what it has to, there was a gap here, and it's actually come back and closed this gap also. So this is a consolidation at the moment. If it breaks on the upside, I still say this will be its brick wall. Okay. If it breaks to the downside, then we can target to the downside. Remember, it's got to break below here before we can say lower. All right. And we need to extend the bottom line too. So I guess what I'm saying is there's its target, but that's its brick wall. Okay, so let's wait and see. Again, there's a lot of wait and see so far on this because they're very, very messy. If I was trading these, I'd be very selective. That's what I'm trying to say by saying that comment. So selective, very selective trading. NAB. Okay, look, let me just quickly go back to ANZ. Let's have a look at the comment that was made. Comment was ANZ Weekly, trend line back to 5th of May. Weekly, trend line back to 5th of May. Are we talking about back to 5th May 14 on bottom? I'm a bit confused, Pete. May 14, 4th on bottom. What's the date here across here? This is 18th May. 4th of May is there. Are we 5th? That's 4th of May. 11th of May is there. I'm confused on your comment, Pete. Oh, 2014. What about it? Here, 5th of May. Are we talking about just saying an accelerated trend? Sorry, Pete, I don't understand your comment. Maybe we'll take it off and discuss it on the phone. Sorry, Pete, I don't get it, but I'll talk to you on the phone on it. I've got a few to do at the moment, mate. WBC. WBC. Okay, Westpac. Look, again, Let's just clean this up a little bit more. Look, other than saying there's a rising wedge there. Rising wedge there. Potential, this is still showing me a potential bearish flag there. I'll just get rid of that crosshair. Potential bearish flag there. I really don't have anything else on it. Potential bearish flag. If you go to the weekly, for whatever this had as a neckline, it's gone now. That's really messed it all up. So it's not considered it because it was pretty unclean anyway as a head and shoulder. So that's gone. What it does leave us is what we call a horn. All right, so like so, like so. And get rid of that. Yeah, pretty tight. That one, give me that. That's closer. That really is very messy here. Just can't have much on this weekly, can we? It actually has a small falling wedge there, which is normally a reversal. It's pretty small. Again, however, a target it's suggesting up to $35, $36. But it is in a channel, and a pretty tight channel at that. But it is a valid target. That one's gone. And the reason is it's got two moves. Look, there's your peak, two touches. However, it broke through and came down and retested basically the bottom. So, and then it's got made a new high sort of, so it actually validates this line because of it. Even though it's got two touches, it still validates it by doing that. Once it does that, it's a validated line. So let's see the daily, see if it gives us any more. Small engulfing there, saying lower prices. God, what a mess. You know, this is so messy. The only way, if I was trying to do something with this, I could call it directionalist. I would normally just go from the previous high, put a line there, get a line here, and I'm only interested once it goes basically out of there, above it or below it, or makes another pattern somewhere in between. That makes more sense. But right now, it really is that messy. I think you can find better trades to trade than just worrying about this one. Again, if you were in it initially, you should have been out. Like I said, the market overall is to a downer, but for whatever reason, they're still holding on here or there. Very messy. In fact, it's quite a range, wide range. I mean, you look at it, it's down to just under $29 up to a range of 35 almost. So your $6 range, but geez, it's directionless almost. Yeah, it's got a little channel, but you wouldn't trade it with great confidence at all. I think you find better stocks to trade. IAG. Again, it's not really respecting the line very much, is it, at the moment? That needs to go then. It's not respecting it. So it got one target, but that was it. Bounced off the target and it's done nothing since. You don't need that anymore. Don't know what pattern. There's no pattern there. And even this is not really clean, so really shouldn't even do that. It's almost hugging the bars. Nah. Well, we can't really do much more than that at the moment, but again, I wouldn't be jumping up on this one, so let's look at the weekly. It was doing a broadening formation, but it certainly broadened it even more. It has broken above it, but it came back below it pretty quickly with an engulfing. This big red candle is an engulfing, engulf this body there. And it's back in here. For now, I would leave this line. I wouldn't say it's the cleanest line, but I would leave it there, only because it's pretty, went back below it with a thumper. It really should go lower. And this type of pattern, it really, again, is not the cleanest. There's nothing in there I can say, let's do a trade to the short side at this one here. If it makes up another candle, because it'll be a bearish, if it makes another candle and comes down, it'll be a bearish flag or pennant, but it's not going to be clean because of this tail. However, it still will be valid. For those that are trying to picture it, you'll go from the bodies like that and really like that. So if you had another candle in here and then broke down, it still is valid, but not a very clean one. I'd give it a probability of around 60%. That's about it. All right, so I'll leave that for now. If it develops to that, then you can target down further. On the daily, actually on the daily probably make more sense. Look at this. It's probably like that. Okay, now if it breaks to the downside from here, go to the lowest body and estimate a breaking point. There's your target down. Okay, it looks better on the daily than anywhere else. So as long as that's what it is and breaks to the downside, you can have a short-term trade to the downside. Pick up what, around 530 down to 480, it's 50 cents. So you're nearly 10%. That would be a nifty trade. BHP. Okay, well, that's nice. Monthly. There's my target down here. Don't forget that. I think we put this about 4 months ago. I think we put this target 5 months ago from down here. 4 or 5 months we were developing that. We said, yeah, I'm expecting $12 to $13. You probably thought it was nuts, but anyway, there you go. Still valid. On the weekly, still stands. I suspect there'll be some sort of consolidation here. So, look, in addition, because that's from here, it's like so, and from there, that was a short-term target down also. And I'll get rid of that for now. And that's out of the triangle. Anyway. There's nothing more we can actually add to the weekly, I don't think. What's the clone? Like that. And extend. So I reckon it'll probably come around here, consolidate before it kicks up again. Has another one. It has 2 touches here. Not the best line, but if it respects it and bounces off it, it's basically you can apply it. If we look at this, it's too early to say at this point, but watch it very carefully. I suspect this will break to the upside, not the downside, however. Rio. Wait. Might help if I actually click inside it. Monthly. Big line, main trend. It has broken below this line, remember that. Okay? And I still hold to these targets, all right? So these targets tell me it can go down to under $29. So this is still valid. On the weekly, okay, like that. 1, 2, validate it by going back up, down. This is a descending triangle, but I've got to tell you, it is not very clean. However, from here to there, to its breakout point, is telling us here, target down to $36. And potentially, we don't know yet, we need to watch carefully. Is there something happening there, flag or a pennant? So let's see what happens. And if you look to the daily, what did I do there? I thought I started from there. Didn't I start from there? Like so. In fact, this shows like so. Let me redo the top one again. Clone. I don't know if it's actually there or a bit higher, to be honest with you. At this point of time, it could be up here for that matter. I don't know yet. So wait and see. But also, is this turning out to be some sort of mare's tail? Not very clean again. It's a bit. I won class. I think it's not the best. Notice we had 2 lines here. Potentially could go on the upside. No, it failed. If you're trading this, look, you also had bearish here also. So you could have done down targets on it after it broke below here. Didn't validate it. And we're now looking to the downside further. In fact, how would that go? Let me think. Oops, line. Not very clean, I'm sorry. Nah, not very good. Try it out with pen, I think. With a pencil on, if you print it out. Anyway, but that's good enough as it is there. Okay. NST. Well, that's still valid. What can I say? Still valid. So I can't add more to that than what it is. On the weekly, oh, what did I do? That was a silly. Where are you, NST? What did I do with it? Monthly. Sorry, I should have meant to do this. Weekly. Well, we don't have to have that yet there. Well, that's what it is there. That's if it breaks down, that's where support would be if it breaks below all these lines. And extender, I'll extend this one. There. So if it goes to there, that's where it is. So still a lot of support here. I mean, look, it's tried to have a bearish flag even here and actually failed. It did hit its target, if you remember. So still consolidating, still holding there. I mean, if it breaks below here, I'd be very worried. But at this point, it looks pretty good. Oh, I meant to be a razor there. This was initially, we were looking at a potential bearish flag. That's what we're looking at. It did break below, actually. And that would have been its support, and it recovered very quickly. My goodness. Don't know what to make out of this. Let's see here. All you can really do now is delete these lines, say where it is. Consolidation. Oh, what happened then? My mic, everything seems to be working. I think, can someone put the hand up, just let me know that the volume's there? Hello? Oh, thank you. There's a strange sound on this side, and I'm just wondering if anything went down again. Thanks. On this one here, all I can say is consolidation there. If it makes a new high up here and closes as a new high, you can probably put an accelerated trend, but that's about it. Actually, this might require a little bit of caution, so be careful that it doesn't break. Let me just go back and check the weekly again. Yeah, okay, so it's got major support going up on major trend lines, but a bit of extra caution here, because I guess if the whole market slows down, that's going to slow down also. Not saying it's going to break down, but it could go sideways for a little while. That was NST, wasn't it? Yeah. NCM. Well, it's definitely isn't it, in this little channel here, because you can see the high withdrawal near it and back down, stopped on the line, respecting it, sort of higher than the previous bar, which is good. So we can say this is in a channel. Now, once something's in a channel, all you got to look at is it going to bounce above it, or is it going to break below it? If it's going to break below, we can do a down target. Of course, this will be a major support area here for a trade. On the upside, well, obviously monthly is not the one to look at. It'll be a nice trend if it broke down for a trade on the monthly, but not on to trade it on up on the monthly. You've got to look at the weekly and the daily to actually make any sense of that. All the monthly is telling us is respecting everything. Looking at the weekly, here we are again, and you can see it's respecting. Okay. What you could have done is, if it gets down to these low levels, you can turn around. If you wanted to look at a trade to the upside, you go long with a stop so much below it. Okay, that's all you can really do. Just to clarify things, make sure you put the line a little bit better than I have, like so. So it's maybe a touch like so. Okay, so if you went long, then you put so much below it in case it breaks below, get the hell out of there. To go into this trade here, you want to see what it's going to do here. Is it going to make a bullish flag so it can have more to go up, give you a hint like it did here, pennant? So if we break above it, we've got more to go up. There's a target we can do. We haven't seen this. So if you're looking for a trade in NCM on the long side, you really got to see if it's going to make a bullish flag to let you know there's more to come up. That's all you can do with it. You can't really do much more than that. On the daily, in saying that, you got to do the same for the daily, obviously. So I can't see any bullish flag there at all. So there's no trade in here whatsoever. What I can see is only consolidation, a little bit of consolidation. That's about it. So there's no trade in this one at this point in time. We did do a target up here. If we extend the line, this line here, in other words, this will be an ascending triangle. If it breaks above this line, then potentially it can go as high as that. We don't have that. Okay, we just don't have that. I'll leave it alone, in other words. ODN. Did I put ODN? Yeah, I did. I was getting the data. What in the heck is this? There's not a lot of data to analyze, and it doesn't trade very much. All I can do is on the monthly is that. Consolidation. At a consolidation, you go click to where it breaks, and that's its target. I don't have anything else on this. Weekly. No bullish flag, no nothing. I really don't have anything on it other than previous high, but there's nothing there. Sorry. Daily. I don't know what to say. all you can say if you're going to do anything with this, and there's not a lot of data, but what you can only say is if it breaks below, you can go click to the previous to roughly where you think, where it's going to break out, and that's an estimated down. Or if it breaks above it, not saying you can't trade in between it, but if it breaks above it, that's all you can really do. Again, from there to there, and that's target. Of course, it can continue going in between as long as it wants. But if it goes above or below, with a little bit of data we have, that's all we can comment on. TLS. With Telstra, as it broke through there, as we said in the past, these are the down targets, and that still stands. Oh, we know we hit all these targets, so let's just clean them up now. Now, is it making a bearish flag? I don't know, but if it breaks down below it, it will be, and then it's going to have a lot lower target than this. That's all I can tell you. So, potential downside on the monthly. Let's look at the weekly. Let me clean a bit up. You really can't do much on the weekly, can you? I mean, again, you can't. This couldn't be a flag. It's such a mess anyway. So interesting. The monthly is really more valid than this, I've got to say. I don't know what to say with this one. Ideally, so if we go across like that, that's probably within 5% of that. And that would have been a double top. And I think that might even hit the target already, actually. Yeah, well and truly. There really is nothing else. The monthly has given us an idea, but that's basically it. Let's look at the daily. Well, there you go on the daily. If you're looking for a trade, potentially a symmetrical triangle, which way is it going to break? Trade the break. There's nothing more you can really add to this. Targets have been met. We can just clean it up a little bit for future. Delete that. And that one. Pretty close to the target. It's pretty good. And really what we're looking at is a symmetrical triangle. This is validated because what happened is it went up here, broke above it, great. Came back down here, retested it, even though it went one bar below, but still retested it. Basically went up, didn't make a higher high. It actually lowered it, so there's your line down. So it's got 1, 2, potentially 3, 2 at the bottom. So we can look at this as a trade. If it breaks to the upside, we get an up target. In fact, I'll do 2 targets. Okay, so we can go from here to there and estimate a break. And from here to there, I've got to estimate the down roughly about there. And there's your down. Which way is it going to break? I don't know. Trade the break. MLB. do this one before. I'll just have a quick drink of water while that's loading. Now, monthly. As we can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a very, very valid line, okay? What we should look at next is cloning this line and doing this. Taking it forward, okay, like so. Okay, so what we're looking at, we don't care what happened down here, but what it is it's actually in a tight channel using the same angle, okay? So this goes up here, you would think could actually come back down here. So it's done it in a number of times before, so it's done it here, 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 see, it went all the way back down and back there. So why should we not believe that it will do something like that again? Especially we're seeing pretty much most things are going to come off. So if this is going up a little bit, why shouldn't it have a bit of retracement? So on a monthly, that's the way I'll look at it. Let's look at it on the weekly now. How are we going to draw this one? Let's have a look. I'll draw it like that, then I'll spread it back out again. Clone. Okay. And spring back. Take auto size off so we can see it better. Now, what we can really do is, take that dotted line, lower it a bit, just a little bit more, just to make it prettier there. We can technically, you want to be conservative, you can actually go down and go to the body. All right, so you can see there's the body there, there's your body there, okay? And we know here we've got an accelerated trend, so we can draw a line from, say, here, take it up like so, and probably, what I'm going to do, this part's not valid yet, okay? Like so. The only time it's going to be valid is if this actually comes and breaks below, okay? So I'm looking at this and saying, okay, if this breaks below now, look, it could go higher, back to this line, I don't know, but this line will still be valid. But what that does, if it manages to come back down, break below, I'm trying to give you an entry point with a target. In other words, if this breaks, whenever it breaks below it, if this is valid, you could basically say is this, from there down to this point, you go below roughly where it's going to break. See, there's your target back down to this line, okay? So if you're looking for a trade, watch that, okay? Just watch it. That's weekly. And we're talking about a sizable move here, from around $2 down to, what, $1.55. So was it 20%? That's fantastic. So that's that. Go to daily. We can take this as the accelerated trend. Okay, that was the effect that was probably there. I know we're not supposed to be cutting bodies, but again, there's an accelerated trend from there. Okay, and this is what we did before. That was it. So here we are on the daily. Watch it very carefully. In fact, it's probably accelerating from there also. Watch it very carefully. And there's a potentially good trade there. That was MLB. SSM. Okay, somebody just points out that ODN that we're looking at before, there's a non-renounceable issue shares today at 1.2 cents. Thanks, Pete. we need start looking at this. So we're saying potentially a brick wall there, aren't we? No, delete that. That would have been a good target down, whoever was watching that. Clone, let's see, is anything there? No. Now if this goes straight through that, potentially I reckon that's where it's going to be. I've just cloned this line and to make it into a parallel channel. Truth is, I don't know if that's going to be the brick wall and it comes back down, then this line would be useless. I will leave it on for now. For those looking at this symmetrical triangle, remember, from symmetrical triangles, you can target and that's your target down, okay? So watch for the patterns very closely. In fact, in addition, you can see, oh, not very nice, but no, there's no data there. I was going to say maybe that was a descending triangle, but there's not enough data. So let's look at the weekly. I would draw the line from here, not from here because it opened here and closed up there. This is the lowest point that a close was occurring. In fact, it actually can go a little bit there. All right. And if we clone that, we are where we are now. So there, that's where we are now as a clone. Now you can actually move the clone line even lower and you can see it touches all these and that's where the body is. So the neck went as high as that line and back below it by hitting the bodies. Okay, I'll list one of these bodies here. So safety wise, I would probably put it more higher. Oops, too much. I'll probably put it there from a safety perspective. If I was to draw another line, I could go from here and I can capture all those. But what we're seeing is this broken through and we're drawing back there. So always remember, when you draw lines like that for major resistance, in this case, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're saying, geez, it's broken, so it must be a strong up. Always remember something, when you clone on a parallel, you got 1, 2 touches, and that becomes the withdrawal, okay? So don't always get caught up and overconfident on things like that. Be aware what is the worst case scenario, okay? And be very careful on that, because also, what do we got here? There was a gap here, and the gap's been obviously closed at this point in time. Acceleration trend. So normally you'd put it like so, but you can see they went below it and engulfed the up. So it actually belongs there anyway. So as an example, because that's also higher high. So if you were looking for a trade to the downside, you'd want to see that price break below before you'd actually start looking to the downside. You can get plenty of targets off it if it succeeds. On the daily, should be fairly similar. Like so. It belongs there because that's a new high. Okay. So that's what we're saying before you go there. And that's where it stops. So let's see if it comes back down and breaks below it. HSN. I haven't heard any of these ones. Oops. I mentioned earlier, when do you think we should be starting the webinars in the new year? Just remember, feedback is greatly appreciated. Clone. Now, actually, I picked up the wrong line then, but I'll just use it with the other one. Okay, so the parallel line, as you can see where the dotted line is, and the closing line is there. Now, watch it very carefully because the top line here's got 1, 2, 3, and this will be the fourth. Now, if it fails, means if this price action fails, it'll be coming back down to here. If it succeeds, it'll be going over to this point. So if you're looking for a trade, if it breaks above and closes above, obviously you'd be looking at a weekly and a daily. But primarily what we're saying is that's the up move. If it goes down below, it'll be a down move. So watch it very carefully. It looks pretty good either way. On a weekly, exactly what we were looking at before. I might have to crunch it up a bit more first. And we clone this. That's what we did. And back to that. So we can see either way what we're looking at is an upside or a downside. Now remember, we can see an accelerated trend here. So this hopefully might have to help us out. We can see, all right, 1, 2, 3, new high, very valid, okay? It also has, I would say, a broadening formation that way. So if it goes on the upside, look, there'll be a broadening formation. Watch very carefully here because this could reverse here. And if it does, you got downside. If it breaks on the upside, you got upside moves. Take your pick. Trades are coming up either way. Obviously had some sort of news here, hasn't it? For something this dramatic. Consolidation phase here. Of course, for what it is, it's actually broken above it. Now, if this holds its price and continues to go up, you'll be doing that. Oh, sorry, what happened there? Do it again. Auto size. You'll be, well, and if it breaks to the downside, you don't want to be there unless you're short. So watch very, very carefully. That watch HSN, RHP, RHP. On the monthly, we can see not a lot. I can't really do much with it. Can't do anything with it. Maybe, oops, wrong one. You know, probably that. There really isn't much you can do with it. Maybe you can clone it if it works, we don't know. I don't know. Can't really do much, as I said. On the weekly, we even struggle. Probably do almost the same. can't really do much. A descending triangle, not even the cleanest, as you can see. So not much there. On a daily, now that's a symmetrical triangle that says downside, and really it's giving you a target of that. It also gave us, how many bars is it? 13 bars acceptable. The maximum you can have is 13. And really it's, as a triangle, it tells you a bit lower. As a pennant or flag, in this case pennant. So this is on the way to that price at this moment. It's broken already below it. MSN. Still waiting for data. Okay. Look, belongs there. Put it there for now. It really, not very nice. Accelerated downtrend. All this is telling us, if it breaks below or above, then we can look at it from that perspective. Or if it bounces inside and above, that means it's a monthly. You look at this as you get into the monthly lines, and you start looking at weekly and daily so you can get an entry and exit with some sort of pattern to help you along. That's all they're really telling us here. Basically, well, we can probably do it from here actually. Not very nice. It's too far apart. Look here. Well, possibly here looks like a flag. If it's a flag, lower prices to come. Okay, so you can trade it to the down, but there's your brick wall. Watch it very carefully. On the daily, no. You can do it because this green candle, it opened here and closed up there, and then it withdrew again. So it's a validation, but not very nice again. You can see it's support. So potentially. So you couldn't even use it as a clean flag. It's pretty messy. You take it a bit lower to this line. And I think maybe because of this, is it? No. Too low. No. Can't really add much more than that at the moment. It really, more showing signs for a down than an up here. As you can see from here, it's on the weekly, it's more to the downside. We have RFN. RFN. Half of these things I haven't heard of. Looking at the monthly, just getting a bit more data still, but looking at the monthly, there really isn't any data I can do anything. Looking at the weekly, that really doesn't help me any further. I really line up, line down. There's nothing there. Looking at the daily, it seems to have more data, but not a huge amount of data either. If we clone, so we can see that everything's closing in. So it's not a square, a rectangle. So we can just move that in like so. Nothing else. There's really nothing we can do. I mean, in past history, there's nothing to add value now. In past history, you might have considered not very clean again. Not very clean, but again, like I said, not very clean. In fact, could have even possibly nah, it would be there. And a down target, but it's already done the target, I would have thought, probably from here, directly below, across, and here's your pretty close to your target. So I wouldn't do any more than that. In fact, I'll leave it there for now anyway. So you really can't add much more than that to it. Yeah, YOW. We're nearly done with the stocks, and there's the currency they wanted in the past. YOW. Again, on the monthly, obviously there's something's happened here. What is it? Corporate action? Where's my corporate action button? Where are your corporate actions? Didn't I put it on? Oh, it's in front of me. Oh, here it is in front of me. God. Obviously there's been some sort of reconstruction here. So can't really say much on it. Really can't say much on it at all. Can't do anything. I'm just using it from here. I'm not even using this bit of data. Oops, what happened there? What just happened then? Clone. Channel. There was a symmetrical, broke below. I think we can really say more than that. Oh, what's going on here? Can't really add more than that. Go to the daily. we can see targets, which really was there already. No. Look, all I can say at the moment with this, it's broken out. It sort of hit one of the targets. The largest target is from here. That's the largest target. And it has not hit that, obviously. So there really isn't much I can suggest at this point because it's in between moves. So the only way to see if it's going further up, I need another pattern, small pattern here, or if it's going to go down, need another pattern again. I can't really comment any more than that. No, can't comment any more than that. CVT. Again, this is a newie. God, what happened here? I don't know what to comment on this, to be honest, so really I'm not even going to try. It looks like that's obviously broken through, and normally when it does, you go from this point, actually to this point, to that point, and that's its target. That's all on the weekly I can do. On the daily, like so. Actually, what would that do? Would that do anything? No. Like so. It's the same thing. Now, is this a pennant or a flag? If it is, can we get a target from down here? But you can get a channel break target or a pattern break. So in other words, from here to there to there. That's that. It's pretty much what I've done on the weekly. That's all you can add to it. SRF. Again, I haven't even heard of this one either. Oh, didn't I do that before? SRF, I must have done it before. Lines are there. Oh, it's an oldie. Oh, I can't. No, it's an oldie. Monthly, there really isn't much, is there? I mean, like, oh, wrong. Clone. There really isn't much you can do like that. You can't, I don't know if I should use it as a flag because I don't know what else is there. There's no other data. This is suggesting higher prices if it is a bullish move, but there is no other data. We did last time, we had this line, let's extend it. Let's have a, thing is, like I said, if this is basically a pennant, it's got to break above, and if it does, you can actually do that. If it does. Don't know if it's going to do that. There's not enough data. this line, because this is higher than that. Now we can actually add this line to that. But that's really it. On the daily, we had targets, we hit most of them, but that's basically it on there. Let's get rid of some. Let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of that. What we can do, well, we can get rid of that's inappropriate at the moment. And broad information. If that's the bottom of the data, that's the bottom, yep, that's all the data that there is. We can do that. Well, so normally you do that also, and you clone that. If it's cloned, oh, I raised it instead. Sorry about that. No, well, that's not going to do anything, so it's closing. So we had a broadening formation, now we've got a rising wedge on that, and that's suggesting lower prices now. So you'll be going from here to there, to its there, breakout point, and it's telling us back to the trend line. There's nothing, and we can still add this. That's also broadening, I think. That's a channel. That's it. There's nothing else I can add to that one. One last stock I'll do, which is basically Amcor. Which is, we can see, still in an accelerated trend. Oh, there we go, it's updated, right on the accelerated trend line now. It does look like it might be a bearish flag breaking below, but it's on the line now. It's got a wait till it breaks below that. And that's its down target. Looking at the weekly, we can see we can draw a downtrend line. It actually hasn't made a new low yet, so really it's not really valid, right? It really's got to go to make a new low, then you can say this is valid. Without it, it's not really valid. Okay, it's on the main trend line. This breaks, it's gone. All right, so if we clone this, it's like before, right? Inside a channel. And really, as a major top here, this is a true, huge, double, triple top, call it whatever you want, okay? And this breaks below all this. It's going to get a bit messy here. Then we've got a major downturn. In fact, you'd be going from there to there, down to below 11s. So you can see it's a very, very messy stock at this point. So you'd be looking at it like that. And at the top. That's your huge consolidation. That's how on the weekly we did the down target. So this is total mess. I wouldn't even try to trade it inside. I'll be trading the breaks on the downside or the upside, which usually are on the downside. I can't see it going up. So that would be all my shares for today. I will do the Aussie dollar. AUD equals Still on this major support. This is a very strong support, I've got to tell you. It's all sandwiched in between here, across, and there. I can get rid of this line, okay? It's trying to go more bearish here, but we'll see. Like a pennant. If that breaks, Aussie dollar will be in deep shit, pardon my French. So, but if that breaks, but this is an extremely strong line. It's, you know, I don't think so. I can be wrong, of course, but I'll trade what I said, but I don't think so. Looking at the weekly, this is still part of its pattern. I'll just extend like so. I'm going to get rid of this line now. It's not needed anymore because it's broken above it. Okay. What we do have, however, is a ascending triangle, which is positive. If this breaks on the upside, I'll be looking at these targets up there. Okay. I'll get rid of it for now, but if that breaks on the upside, if it breaks on the downside, deep could be in deep shit. But if it breaks on the upside, there'll be a target. First target would be from here, like so, like there, back around the 78 mark. Statistically, that's what should happen, but we'll see. Time will tell. If it breaks to the downside, unlikely. But this is an ascending triangle, suggesting that prices should be going to the upside. Okay, that's its suggestion. Daily. I'll basically draw in the same thing now. I'm going to extend the line. Okay. And of course, as you can see, I'll just delete this red line. Okay. So that's the pattern. It really is. Now, there's more resistance at this level, but you know, if this goes through that, that shouldn't be a problem. So personally, I'm hoping it goes through. There's something I'd like, as I said last time, out of the US. So it'd be nice to pay less Aussie dollars. It would be rather nice. But yeah, if I was looking at the long side, breaking here, it'd be a fantastic trade. If it breaks below, well, then we'll look to the downside in the same way. Look, I'm doing also Aussie dollar, Japanese yen, I've been asked, British pound, Aussie dollar, and New Zealand. I'll do the New Zealand first. I haven't looked at this for ages. NZ equals. In fact, the last time I looked at it, I think it was in my laptop. There's no lines on this chart. I've already gone nearly 2 hours, folks. 2 hours almost. Bloody hell. I thought I'd make it worthwhile being, you know, so close to Christmas now. Clone. I will be, I just pointed out, I said, when should I start the next webinar? I just realized I'm actually up towards Noosa between 17th and I get back on the 24th of January, sorry. I have some family members from overseas at the moment, so I'm trying to entertain them also. So it will, if I can do it using my laptop, I will do it earlier if I can, but I'm not going to make any promises. If there's enough demand to do it earlier, I'll consider it, like I said, but I'm not going to make any promises. You can see descending. This is an ascending triangle, sorry, not descending. Not very nice, this one here. Basically targeting down, the biggest target I'll do at the moment. That's where to hit. At the moment, you can see where the New Zealand dollar is, and you've got to, it's a monthly, and you've got to ask, well, you know, the New Zealand's been doing what the Aussie's been doing, okay? I know we've been hit with a mining disaster, but primarily that's what we're doing, of following the same way. Is this going to be more to the downside? I don't know, but that's also a very strong line. So we really got to wait and see what transpires here. Looking at the weekly, yeah, delete that. Clone. A very tight channel that could be here, so there's nothing more I can really add to this at this point in time. Daily. Basically channel, and it is accelerating. Looking at that. So we're accelerating at the same time. So let's see what transpires if this breaks through this little bit. Then you can target up at the same time if it breaks above it. GBP AUD. I've got glasses now. PAUD equals R. Now let's start with the monthly. As we can see, we hit the target. We're back to the main channel line. Monthly does not tell us other than that it is in support. Okay, so we are in a support point of view. Good, there should be pretty good support there. If it breaks there, then we really are on the way down. Let's look at it on the weekly. Let's extend our lines. And as you can see, this is on support. Actually, let's have a look at this for a minute. That's not needed there. So look. Was that cloned? Let me just try it again. Was that a cloned line? No. Okay. So look from here. Is it a broad information? Yes, it is. Interesting now. Makes it extra interesting. I think we'll draw this on the daily. We expected, if that was a bullish flag, then we expected higher prices. Obviously, it was not a flag, so we get rid of that. Clone. We can see in a channel, and it's on the major support line. So if it breaks below, we expect it to go back to the channel down here. Or if it kicks above, back to the top of the channel. That's where we are now. Which way is it going to break? Well, if it breaks below, well, obviously it'll be easy to see. And if it kicks that other way, you need a lower time frame to confirm it. Let's go to a daily. Actually, That's interestingly enough now. I'd be watching it more on an intraday basis here, folks, to see what it's going to do here. Like we said, if it breaks below here, we expect it to go to the bottom of the channel. And if you want to trade it to the upside, this is our major support. So what that basically means is I'd be watching it on a 60 minutes, 180 or whatever, see if where it turns around and what pattern is it making here. Is it a reversal with a bullish flag, or is it some other pattern? So that's what you've got to watch, because on an intraday basis, you've got to consider this too, is if you take the line from here and accelerate it downwards, and then you're making one from here, and if it bounces back up to a certain level, it could be a symmetrical triangle. So you really got to watch it on an intraday basis here. And we'll do now we've done the Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, Japanese yen, somebody asked me here, AUD, JPY, so I can barely see my keyboard, it's getting dark here, equals, equals A, yep, enter. Oh, that was done a while ago. On the monthly, we hit our monthly target. Now, when a monthly target gets hit, really, you got to start taking money off the table. And that was a major target here. And on 2 points it hit. Out of the rising wedge, isn't it? Rising wedges are everywhere, aren't they? And obviously out of the bearish flag. So touch and in. So basically met its obligations. Now let's look at the weekly. I'll clean it up because there was also a symmetrical triangle here and there. This wasn't the best because, it'd be nice if the data was up here somewhere, then back down, then back up, where touch, there's touches there, gap, a big blank space here. So not the best from that point of view. That's why these targets are lower. And if you probably hear the previous, if we'd done it on the webinar, we would have said not the best in probability. So excuse me. So we can't really draw a downtrend further here because this low is not lower than this low. So it's still a valid uptrend. So we go from here, and it really, in fact, like so. So it's a valid uptrend. If we clone it, does it fit anywhere? Oh, what do you know? It fits. Let me just get the arrow, put it a bit better. It fits pretty good there. So we are in a channel, okay? We are in a channel. If we extend this line, top one, and we clone this one, does it fit anywhere? And as we can see, it does not, all right, because it breaks below. So it doesn't quite work that way. So we can delete that line. If we take a trend line and start at the bodies first and go to this point and extend down, does it fit anywhere? Well, that's not too bad, is it? So what it was doing is actually a broadening formation. Okay, so we've got a broadening formation. If this breaks below, we can start looking to a lower line to this broadening formation. Okay, if it keeps going back up, we can see a break wall here. So what you should be looking at is take it to the daily and then start looking, has it got a bullish flag and so forth, or the intraday. Extending again the line. Okay, if we clone, I can't remember actually. There you go, on the daily. It's not the best. So what we've done is cut the line here and take the line out. And as you can see, it does not work the best on the daily. Let's move it to there. And cutting the tails is not so bad. And there. So that's to the body there. Okay. So it's still a slight broadening formation. Channel-wise, and clone. So again, we're seeing it in the channel. If it breaks to the upside, we know that, but I'd be looking at this if there's any targets up. If not, we'll be looking for a target down. And that covers all the currencies that I've been asked to do. Now, folks, we've gone over 2 hours and 5 minutes at this point. Probably maybe a touch less because I had the disclaimer for about 5 minutes, I think. Anyhow, I trust, well, I hope that everybody had a successful trading period. I hope you've got some value out of these webinars. I'll keep on doing it as long as you ask me by giving me instruments to do. And like I said, keep in mind, I'm going to be up north between 17th and 24th towards Noosa for a bit of a break for a week. So if I get a lot of people ask me to do one in between those dates, I will probably do one via my laptop. However, if everybody's on a holiday, I would rather not. So I really do wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a safe one, and a prosperous New Year. And let's hope 2016 brings us some decent conditions to trade. So all the best, safe Christmas, and God bless. Good evening.